Hey, it's Brewster, and I'm Scott, and welcome to Brewster's Garage. This is going to be part two of the roof chop. In part one, I chopped the roof off, took out 3 inches out of the roof, and in this part two, um, I'm going to attempt to put it back together. So stay tuned, we'll see how I do. I'm cleaning up these cuts, and took the roof off, placed it here, and I was about to clean up these front cuts, and I looked into this side, and there's a huge bolt wedged in there, which I know is not part of the roof, so I'm not sure how that got in there, but it's wedged in there pretty good. I'm gonna have to try to get that out of there. But maybe an interesting story how that thing got in there. Anyways, see if I can get it out.
I thought you was an angel. You flew away just like a bird. I thought you was an angel.
I got the bolt that was wedged into the pillar out, and then started cleaning up the chop cuts. I also needed to make sure that each pillar was the same length.
Was a detour through hell on earth. Spread your pretty wings for me, let me deep inside. When you was good and satisfied, away you would fly. Well, honey, you ain't no angel. You flew away just like a bird. I tripped to heaven, was a detour through hell on earth. Might be a robin redbreast or a squawking blue jay. Might be the devil's own raven. It don't matter no how in a way. Honey, you ain't no angel.
After another test fit, it was time to lay out my cut lines.
I tripped to heaven, was a detour through hell on earth.
Okay, well, I have my lines drawn out for how I'm going to cut up the roof now. So basically, as I said, I'm going to cut it down the middle to about here, and then I'm going to cut this section out as a whole, just so that I'm not impacting this little knife edge right here. And then so to make the roof wider, I'll add a strip here, and I'll probably have to add a wider strip than it really needs. I'll probably need to cut out more than I really than how far out it needs to go. I think it only needs to go out about 3/8 of an inch, but I don't want to try to attempt to weld a strip in here that's only 3/8 of an inch wide, because that's just going to be very, very difficult to weld. There's just not enough material in a 3/8 inch wide strip to absorb and dissipate the heat that's going to come into it while I'm welding it. And what will happen is the strip's going to start warping really bad. It will probably start melting, and then I'll be chasing holes, and it's going to end up being a mess. The second part that I'm going to do is cut out this pillar, these rear pillars, just along there, so that the roof can go longer as well. And the gap that is created here, I will take up with some of the center part of the roof that I saved when I cut out the center part of the roof, which is somewhere in that heap of parts over there. So I got to dig it out. And again, depending on how much of a gap there is, once the pillars are lined up, I may end up taking out a little bit more so that this section I weld in there is got more material in it, absorbs the heat better, dissipates the heat from the weld better, and I don't have to deal with as much warping. And then the other thing I did was I made a little scaffolding that goes inside the that will support the roof from the inside. This is just so that, once this thing is in, how many pieces? 4 pieces. It's going to be a little unwieldy, especially if I'm working on it by myself. So this will just help hold pieces in place while I fit them correctly and so forth. So anyways, hopefully that works, and hopefully this works. I'm going to put this back on there, do one more little sanity check before I start cutting it up. So today I'm going to spend some time getting this B-pillar tack welded back in place. I've already done this one. Pretty happy with the fit here. It's looking pretty good. To clean it up, I was just cleaning up the edges here so they're nice and straight, making sure that this fits pretty well, and making sure that I know that I'm going to have to go out wider here to line up the roof or the rain gutter here to the rain gutter there, but I wanted to make sure that these two surfaces are aligned vertically. So that's looking pretty good. I'm going to go over and do the same thing to this side, clean up the cut here and make sure it's fitting nice and tight, clean up these cuts and get it tack welded in place. And then once I do that, then I'll be ready to tackle the width of the roof. And so far it's looking like this is going to need to go out and be, a little wider in the back than in the front, because I think there's only about, 3/16 or something like that it needs to go out here, and it's more like 3/8 that goes out here. So it's going to be a little wider. It's going to need to go a little wider in the back, the roof, than in the front, but that shouldn't be any problem. Anyways, I'm going to get going on this B-pillar now.
then why can't I forget you when I haven't slept in days? No, 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 I haven't slept. No, I have not slept for days. And my selective memory knows the dark upon your face. In my bed, you left me something. My hand moves across the space. My hand moves across the space. You left me with my space. My space. Today I have decided.
Okay, well, I think I did the major cutting that I need to do for the roof to get it to fit after the chop. You saw that I cut out this middle section in the front for a couple reasons. One reason was I didn't want to have to recreate this knife edge here, so I thought I'd just cut it out and not have to deal with it, because I did want to cut down the middle of the roof for in order to make the roof wider. So I'll just have to add some strips on either side of this to have it fit back in. You can see that there's a gap there. That was one reason why I did it. The second reason is you can see that there's some rust repair that I have to do here. I think it's just going to be easier to do with it as a smaller piece off the car. Yeah, this will be kind of interesting to do, because this little piece right here is really going to be the first metal forming that, metal forming that I'm going to need to do for this car, and really first metal forming that I'm really going to do in my life. So we'll see how it comes out. I'm pretty confident I could replicate this little tip right here, but we'll see. The other thing is I've lined up these A-pillars a little better. They're not tacked yet, and I still need to clean up the cut a little bit to get them fitting tighter, the butt weld a little tighter. But I've lined it up pretty well. This top part of the roof is about 1/4 inch wider than this bottom portion. It's something I really didn't realize when I chopped it. And I might have been able to find a spot on the A-pillar where it wasn't flaring out, and that was pretty consistent. I wouldn't have had that. But I don't know if I could have, because I wanted to keep the cut of this A-pillar away from where I cut the door frame, and I wanted to cut the door frame when it came out of this curve. So I think it was really the only place that I can really cut this A-pillar. So what I'm going to need to do here is obviously make this portion of the A-pillar a little skinnier so that it lines up here. And the question is, do I line this side up and squeeze in this side, or do I line this side up and squeeze in this side? Right now you can see that this is lined up and this is overhanging. And but I think what I'm going to do is line the outside edge up, and then manipulate the edge here where the windshield goes to make them line up. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Right now I've got about a 3/4 inch strip that I need to add in the middle, and I need to clean up these cut lines a little better. I may take out a little bit more, again, just so that I have a strip that has a little more material so that it's a little easier to weld and I don't have to worry about warping so much. You know, a thicker strip has more material in it and it's better able to disperse the heat from when I'm welding, and so warping wouldn't be quite as bad. And then on the B-pillars here, these are lining up pretty good. I'm not too concerned about this. I'm still gonna cut a little bit more out here for the same reason that I was gonna cut a little bit more out here. So I need to clean up this joint a little bit. I think this joint is good, the width that it's gonna be. I need to dig through the parts over there to get the section of the roof that I'm going to use to close this up, and looks very similar over here. These are lining up. I'm kind of judging how this B-pillar is situated based on how the rain gutters on either side of this gap line up, and they're lining up pretty good. So I'm pretty happy with that. I think this one might need to break the tack welds on this one and just tweak it in just a hair, because it just looks to me to be off by a very small amount. So anyways, I'll play with that a little bit more. So the next steps is to get the section cut out of the old roof to put in here, make this a little wider, and then get a new piece of steel to go in there, and make this on both sides, and then make this a little wider and get a new piece of steel to go in there and clamp it all in and make sure everything is all situated correctly, and then obviously do the rust repair on the front of the roof, and there's some interior structure that needs to be redone as well. So I got to look at that a little bit closer and figure out how I'm going to approach it. But other than that, I'm really happy with it. I think it looks really good, and I think it's doable for my welding skills, or my lack of welding skills. So I guess we'll get going on that.
Times right now are nothing like they used to be. Times right now are nothing like they used to be. I tell you the truth, but you don't want my word from me. I've seen better days, and now I'm putting up with these. I've seen better days, and now I'm putting up with these. I had a way better time with the women down in New Orleans. 'Cause I'm from the country, she thinks that I am easy to rule. 'Cause I'm from the country, she thinks that I am easy to rule. She wants to hitch me to a wagon and drive me like a mule. I bought her a gold ring and I paid the rent. I bought her a gold ring and I paid the rent. She wants to get me to wash her clothes, but I got good common sense. You want me to love you, and then you just treat me mean. You want me to love you, and then you just treat me mean. but you're my daily thought, you're my nightly dream. Sometimes I think you're just too sweet to die. Sometimes I think you're too sweet to die. Other times I think you ought to be buried alive. Other times I think you ought to be buried alive.
So I've been starting to clean up the parts of the roof. I spent some time taking the tar. There's like some kind of tar-based glue on the interior of these roofs. I think it maybe held in some insulation or something that had long deteriorated into nothing, into dust by the time I got it. Anyways, I figured after trying a couple methods, found that the best way to take it off is to heat it up a little bit with the heat gun, scrape off the thick parts, and then use mineral spirits to take off the rest or the residue. It seems to work pretty well. And other than that, I'm just kind of cleaning up these cut lines to make them smoother. I widened this one a little bit more because I needed a little bigger strip here to fill in. I've cleaned up this side for the cut line on this side. I still have to do this side. And then, I'm using just a really thick Sharpie. One of these really very thick Sharpies to put a thick line on and then scribe my line that I'm going to sand to. And that seems to be working pretty well. You could also use Dykem or something like that. I've seen people use these Sharpies, and it's easy to get and they're cheap, so I got that. Anyways, so right now I'm working on this joint right here, trying to get it to be a little tighter. There's really nothing to measure off of, but I'm trying to close the gap here and keep a nice tight gap all the way around it, or no gap. But just kind of doing it by eye because there's really nothing to measure off of, and trying to do it by eye with the sander. Also, I was thinking about, I don't know if you saw when I pulled this bolt out of the A-pillar here on the passenger side, and I was just kind of thinking about how it got in there. I don't think anyone put it in there after it was purchased. I really think it was put in during the assembly of the car, and it got me thinking about whether there was a labor dispute going on with Studebaker in the 30s. I did a little bit of searching. I couldn't really find anything. Studebaker did file for bankruptcy in the mid-30s and came out of it. Actually, this model, this car, the Champion, was pretty popular, and it really helped them to get out of bankruptcy by the end of the 30s. And there was some union disputes going on, but nothing real big. It didn't sound like there was anything real big going on. So it could be that, somebody, assembly worker for Studebaker, was mad at his boss or mad at management for whatever reason, and they thought that, they kind of got even by sticking this in the A-pillar and so that it rattles. I know that things like that have been done in the past. I grew up near a GM assembly plant, and I read about how in the early or mid 1970s, assembly worker was mad at their boss or mad at management, and they do things like put empty Coke bottles inside the doors before the door panels go on so that it rattles. And I've also heard stories about in the UK, Triumph Motorcycle had a labor dispute, and workers were putting metal shavings inside the crankcases of the engines. You know, and all that really serves is that it lowers the public perception of the quality of the motorcycle or the car, and they stop buying it, and you know, then plants close. So, you know, in the end, you know, when things like that happen, and the workers really feel like they're getting even with management, all they're really doing is shooting themselves in the foot, and you know, eventually possibly getting themselves out of a job. But I know it happens. I don't know if that was the situation here, but this is definitely not a bolt that would be anywhere around here. This is like a bolt to mount an engine. So definitely something went on there, and it's all speculation on my part, but kind of interesting to think about. You know, it's all part of the history.
I was baptized in the fountain of youth. I was scrutinized for telling the truth. There's a scandal going on around here, are reflections. Looking back in the mirror, did I mention I was losing the tooth? I got to move on, got mountains to move. I 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 got mountains to move. A transformation will get a new look. I'm salivating, get me off the hook. I need a martini without the vermouth. I gotta move on, got mountains to move. I 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 got mountains to move. Yeah. Yeah. I got my business, I keep to myself. I spent a fortune, my mental health, I'm down in a rut, I'm down. I lost my groove, I got to move on. Got mountains to move, I got mountains to move. I got mountains to move. I got mountains to move. I got
Okay, so I cut out a section out of this section of roof that I saved when I cut the midsection out of the Studebaker, and I've used it to kind of make a patch for this section on this side, and I've kind of got it clamped into place with these Clecos. I've never used Clecos. I bought this stack a while ago, or this package a while ago. If you watch these types of videos, you've probably seen them before. But essentially, this is a Cleco. It's a little clamp. I think they're first developed for the aerospace industry, for the airplane industry, to hold panels on an airframe, and then custom car builders found that they're useful. But essentially, it's just a spring-loaded thing. He has this specialized little pair of pliers. Put them in there, and it pushes. You drill an 1/8 inch hole. You can buy them different sizes: 1/8 inch, 3/16. When you push the clamp in, it squeezes this down, and then when you let it go, it expands it out, and so it just holds into that hole, and it allows you to kind of set everything in place. So like I'm going to do like I'm going to do for the roof here, I'm going to kind of set all my strips and panels in place and Cleco them all in, and then once they're all set, start doing my scribing and really fitting them to the openings. Right now, I cut this one about an inch too wide, an inch wider than I need, so that I can Cleco them in temporarily, and then I will scribe it and cut it down to the actual size once everything is fitting on the roof. Anyways, that fits down really nicely. Fits the contour of the roof here. It's a little bit up right here just because it's overlapping, but it's pretty good. It's kind of funny because I was being very careful to make sure that I got all the pieces together and kind of trying to fit them all at the same time, and then I guess my cut was in between all the spot welds, so as I was sanding it, it all kind of fell apart. So this is the rain gutter that goes right here, and so I'll have to just kind of tack weld that back in. In the end, it's probably better because I think I can position it and fit it a little better after the fact, and then this is just a part of the internal structure that fell off, so I can fix that. I mean, obviously the most important part is the seams here on the roof, because that's what's going to be seen the most. But anyways, that's the first patch that I've done. I need to do the other side similar, and then I need to cut a strip to put in here. I'll Cleco that in, do the center section, and then once it's all looking good, start trimming it up and start welding. I have a lot of welding to do, and I'm going, before I attempt to do some of the welding on this, or any of the welding on this roof, I'm going to do some practice runs on some old scrap body panels that I saved, just to make sure my TIG welder is all dialed in, and I'm pretty confident with doing the butt welds. Anyways, kind of exciting. Got to use my Clecos. I feel like a real custom car guy now, so that's fun. Anyways, Clecos, you can buy them online, Amazon, $40 for I think 50 Clecos. It comes with the wrench, so pretty cheap. And like I said, you can get them in different sizes. Anyway. Well, I think that's going to do it for part 2 of the roof chop. Definitely going to be part 3. I still have a lot of welding to do up there, and it's going to rain for the next 4 or 5 days, so maybe a good time to stay inside and work on the repairs on this piece. I've already made a paper or cardboard profile of it, and started on a piece that possibly will work out to repair it. We'll see. Anyways, that's it for now. Have a great New Year's, and thanks for watching.